What if I told you that one of the most iconic athletes in cricket history is now caught in a political nightmare that could define a nation's future? Let me tell you about Shakib Al Hasan, the man who once dominated the cricket world but now finds himself tangled in a web of charges, exile, and a government that's both his jailer and his potential savior. This isn't just about a sports star, it's a mirror reflecting the chaos of Bangladesh's political landscape, where loyalty to a fallen leader can mean life or death. And personally, I think this story is way more than a footnote in cricket history. It's a case study in how power vacuums can turn heroes into targets overnight. Imagine being the captain of your country's cricket team, then suddenly being accused of murder, facing a death sentence in absentia, and forced to live in exile while your former allies are hunted by the very government you once supported. That's Shakib's reality. But here's what's fascinating, he's not just a passive victim. He's actively trying to negotiate his way back, even as his house gets firebombed for supporting a leader who's been declared a criminal. What does that say about the fragile state of justice in Bangladesh? It's like a game of chess where the rules are rewritten every hour. And let me tell you, watching this unfold feels like witnessing a modern-day tragedy where the stakes are nothing short of existential. Now, let's talk about the charges. Shakib claims he's being framed for a murder that happened during the August 2024 protests that killed over 1,400 people. He says he was in Toronto playing cricket on the day the alleged crime occurred. But here's the kicker, the government isn't just going after him for murder. They're also accusing him of corruption, which is a classic move to discredit someone with influence. What makes this really interesting is the timing. These charges came right after the fall of Sheikh Hasina's government, which means this isn't just about justice, it's about sending a message to anyone who dares to align with the old regime. And if you take a step back and think about it, this is textbook political theater. They're using the legal system as a weapon to purge dissent, and Shakib is just the latest pawn in their game. But here's where it gets even more twisted. Shakib isn't just waiting for the government to decide his fate. He's actively trying to return, even if it means facing trial. He said he's ready to go back if his safety is guaranteed. But what's the real motive here? Is it redemption, or is it a calculated move to pressure the new government into showing leniency toward Hasina's allies? From my perspective, this feels like a high-stakes gamble. If he returns and gets a fair trial, it could set a precedent for others. If he gets arrested, it could become a symbol of the new regime's ruthlessness. Either way, this is a moment that will shape Bangladesh's political identity for years to come. And let's not forget the personal cost. For 2 years, Shakib has been living in the US, separated from his family, unable to see his parents, and watching his bank accounts frozen while he's accused of crimes he denies. It's not just about the legal battle, it's about the human toll. What this really suggests is that in countries where political instability reigns, even the most celebrated citizens aren't immune to being sacrificed for the sake of power. And yet, here's a man who still wants to play cricket, still wants to represent his country at the 2027 World Cup. That kind of resilience is almost admirable, isn't it? Or is it just a desperate attempt to cling to normalcy in a world that's turned upside down? So what does all this mean for Bangladesh? It's a country at a crossroads, where the line between justice and political survival is razor thin. If Shakib's case is handled fairly, it could signal a shift toward accountability. If it's used as a tool for repression, it could deepen the fractures in society. And honestly, I'm not sure which path the country will take. But one thing is certain, Shakib's story isn't just about cricket. It's about the price of loyalty, the fragility of justice, and the human cost of political upheaval. And as I sit here thinking about this, I can't help but wonder, what happens when the world's most powerful nations turn a blind eye to the chaos unfolding in places like Bangladesh? Because if history has taught us anything, it's that the stories of people like Shakib are often the ones that get buried under the noise of geopolitics. But maybe, just maybe, this time it's different.